All right, so this is my presentation. It's about Metro, the grocery store, and I'm going to show you why the Metro life is the best kind of life. So first up, we have the table of contents. Just go over that one quickly, not much to say, just tells you what I'm going to be talking about later on. Next, we have the intro. So here, just telling you exactly what chapters I chose. So chapter 3 and chapter 5. What are they? Well, chapter 3 is about creating a culture of well-being, and chapter 5 is about planning for, recruiting, and selecting the workforce. The reason why I chose these chapters is for the creating a culture of well-being that it influences our actions and our behavior. And as it says in the book, it provides a compass which guides the employees during daily office life. It's important to remember that culture stems from the leaders. And so, as Mr. Forbes always tells us, we are the future's leaders. So it's important to remember that this will become our role. Next, the planning, recruiting, and selecting the workforce is important because, once again, as a very wise man told us, failing to plan is planning to fail. Analyzing the changing demographics also becomes important when we realize that a more diverse workforce has been proven to be more productive and happier. Now, to see and compare theory and reality. In this section, I'm talking about how they're the same. In the textbook, a culture of well-being is created by various training programs that promote company values and help the employees further their skills, as well as with benefits such as wellness programs, health services, and EAPs, which are employee assistance programs. In real life, Metro achieves it this way. They offer benefits such as group insurance, pension plans, generous vacation policies, including personal days, and the Quebec head office was actually one of the first to offer daycare facilities. In addition, they offer training, once again, to develop management skills as well as provide the employees with experience that can be useful not only in this job but in future jobs. This combination creates a more engaged employee, which is really the foundation on which a culture of well-being is created. Next up, we have the similarities between the textbook and real life for planning, recruiting, and selecting the workforce. In the textbook, this is shown with the different types of recruitment. So we know that there's internal and external recruitment. We also know that internal recruitment helps boost morale, and we know that external recruitment can be good for bringing in more creative ideas. The book also talks about matching the right people to the right jobs. This is done by analyzing the job as well as the people available and using reliable information to see who would be best for what. This is going to get employees to feel like they're more at home with their work and more comfortable really doing what they're good at doing. In real life, Metro uses internal promotion slash recruitment to help employees become more versatile and to really build a future in that company. When Metro stumbles upon a really good employee, or what they call a high potential employee, they like finding a mentor for them that's going to find the right job for them and see where they're really going to be able to develop that potential to further their skills as well as the interests of the company. These things help people feel like they're climbing the ladder, so to speak, or building a future for themselves in this company. Now we move on to the theory versus reality. So how are they different? In the textbook, we learn about diversity and innovation. However, Metro does it differently because they use diversity to build their culture of well-being on. So they hire people like retired veterans, they hire newly arrived immigrants, and they work with groups like Allier Montréal, which help people fit in. And so they're really building how their company works and how it feels. That sort of fun-loving culture we saw at Google is a culture of acceptance at Metro. They also use innovation to help benefit both the customer and the company. So they come up with things like e-commerce for groceries, which I think is going to grow in popularity over time. When it comes to planning, recruiting, and selecting the workforce, Metro is quite different because, as we learned in class, the turnover rate can be very expensive if it's high. And Metro, however, doesn't really let that bother them because they know that not everybody wants to pack groceries forever. So they focus on providing a good environment while the people are there working for them, instead of coming up with all sorts of ways to really tie down that employee at all costs. They know that sometimes letting go is better than holding on for too long. The textbook doesn't really talk about when letting go employees like that is maybe the right plan. In conclusion, there's not an enormous amount of difference because Metro overall is a pretty responsible company towards both employees and customers. And the textbook pretty much shows us how to become responsible leaders, and so that's why there aren't too many differences. Next, my bibliography and the appendix, which just sort of shows a few of the words I went over. And that's all. Thank you very much.